Well, we should start with Perry. We owe you a lot. We know how difficult was your choice. I followed it very carefully, calling our dear mayor almost every day, at least every week. Sometimes we even spoke by phone. And it was not an easy decision. It's not an easy decision. You needed courage to make up your mind and decide the way you decided. And we are very grateful to you. Of course, we know that you are not a monk, you are not a priest, so you have spiritual reasons and also material reasons for your decision. But anyway, we know, you know, we know that you had different other alternatives, important, interesting alternatives. And thank you for having chosen Portugal. I think it was a wise, courageous choice. And so you deserve to become Portuguese one of these days. No doubt about it. Well, and then, of course, I'd like, now in Portuguese, queria agradecer também o muito que foi feito pelo Governo e pela Câmara Municipal de Lisboa. Em certo momento eu até me encontrei à porta da Câmara, ia a passar e acabavam de sair de uma reunião. You understanding? You are leaving the City Hall when we had a curious meeting by chance. It means foi um grande trabalho, um longo trabalho, e a persistência do Presidente da Câmara foi muitíssimo importante, e o apoio e o envolvimento do Governo foi muito importante também, foi decisivo. E agora, com o seu Ministro Adjunto da Economia, há aqui um protagonismo que já se percebeu que ele assume com paixão, o que é fundamental, fazer com paixão. Podia estar no debate do Orçamento de Estado e está aqui. Não é que o debate do Orçamento de Estado não seja muitíssimo importante para o país, mas a vossa presença também é muitíssimo importante para o país. A ideia é ouvir-vos e não falar-mos. Mas eu queria dizer mais 3 ou 4 coisas e vou dizer em inglês para o pé de ouvir. So before listening to you, which is the crucial point in this kind of idea, I recall when we met 2 years ago. It was not here, it was in the palace. You were 50-something, 51, 52, 53. And you were sitting around me. And it was the start. It was an adventure. It started as an adventure. How is it going to happen? How is it going to be? Will it be successful or not? And many people were doubtful about it. Then last year you were 100 people, around 100 people. The same idea of listening to you, but you are many more. And today you are almost about 200 here. I don't like this kind of scenario, I must tell you. It's one of the dangers of a website becoming this. It's not a good idea. I would prefer more informal, the way it was last year and 2 years ago. But you know, a president has limited powers under the Constitution, even inside his civil household. So when I discovered it, it was too late. It was yesterday. Too late to change the scenario. It's a little bit too imperial. Well, but forgetting it, the question is this one. The adventure turned into a success. And now it's a success for another 10 years. 10 years. Happily it is 10 years. When I look at 10 years, all of a sudden, I feel what you're feeling. So many challenges. First one, not becoming like this scenario. No. I mean, plenty of people, quantity, new structures, wonderful, a new dimension, but also quality. quality and the imagination. The problem with 10 years, you need to be very imaginative every year to surprise people. You cannot repeat one year after the other. And you'll be much older in 10 years' time. So, some of you, you were very young 2 years ago. I look at you, you are much older. Perhaps too old. So, in a sense, Web Summit must not become too old. Never. First problem. Second problem. You, of course, I have no doubts about your international dimension. As the Minister said and Mayor said, it will be always a success. I mean, new investors coming from abroad, you'll be well known abroad. That will work, no problem. The problem is internally. You must not forget that at the same time you are a success. We must have an economy as a whole being a success. Which means, first of all, that common people must understand Web Summit. You must translate it to common citizens. First year, it's a success, right? It's new. Second year, we did it, well, of course. Third year, now we did it. We have for more 10 years. But every year, try to explain, discover a new subject and explain it. Make it clear. In a country that is becoming too old, too quickly, as most European countries. And that's a challenge. Another challenge, you will never be young forever. No, you won't be startup forever. At the point, you have to grow up a little bit. And you have to have financing means, resources to do it. And this upgrading, it's a challenge for us, for the President, for the government, for our economy, for our banking system. At the point you want to do more and enlarge your landscape and broaden your perspectives. And this jump, some of you are already feeling it, it's a big jump. Of course, with foreign help, you'll do it. But it must be also an internal jump. And finally, we have a tissue, economic tissue, formed by many, many thousands of medium and small enterprise companies, medium-sized and small-sized companies. And the connection between your world and the world of the rest of the economy is being done already with the strongest companies. They understood your role. It's easy for them to buy your ideas and to make partnerships. But then there is the rest of the tissue that is there in your home places. And they must feel they are not aside your movement. It's one of the problems of our society, to avoid age cleavages. One part of us is very old, and one part of us is very young. Young people go and come. They migrate and they come back, and they are there and here at the same time because they work in a net system. All the people don't look things that way. And we cannot have a country divided into 2, or 3, or 4, or 5. And that's another challenge. For 10 years. For 10 years. Of course, I discovered yesterday evening, I didn't sleep too much, as usual, and I said, is there any additional advantage for my life of having 10 years of Web Summit in Portugal? And I said, well, there is something that could become a collateral effect, not necessarily too positive, to have the responsibility of run against to the presidency. And I said, it's not good news to have this kind of pressure upon me to see the rest of the years. No, not good idea. Anyway, good idea is to listen to you. So please, do tell us, the same way you did it last year and this year, in a shorter pitch than ours, what you think about this year and next year and the next 10 years.